Thank you for staying with us. Outside Nigeria, as part of his historic second state visit to the United Kingdom, U.S. President Donald Trump and King Charles III on Tuesday watched a stunning fly past by the red arrows over Windsor Castle. The ceremony marked one of many grand events during Trump's visit, including a carriage procession and a guard of honor. Trump and King Charles shared a coach during the procession, while Queen Camilla and First Lady Melania Trump followed behind in another. The Prince and Princesses of Wales also participated in the royal welcome. Earlier, Trump laid a wreath at the late Queen Elizabeth's tomb in St. George's Chapel. Meanwhile, hundreds of protesters took to the streets of London and Windsor on Wednesday to voice their opposition to President Trump's historic second state visit to the United Kingdom. Demonstrators chanted "No to racism, no to Trump" near BBC Broadcasting House and marched towards Whitehall and Parliament Square. Protests also took place around Windsor Castle, where Trump is receiving a royal welcome. Human rights groups have condemned the visit over U.S. support for what they call the continuing genocide of the Palestinian people. To speak on this, we have Adeniyi Kunnu, an international journalist. He joins me alongside global policy expert Alexander Von Rugen. Gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. I'll start with you, Mr. Kunnu. The protesters have tagged Trump a racist, and they seized his second state visit as an opportunity to strike. Would this deter President Trump's deportation policy, you think?
Well, let's understand that the people have the right to express their disaffection when something happens. That's what is typical in every free society. And I have to say that the British citizens have done what they have to do to let him understand they do not want him, they don't appreciate his policies. But let's remember here that the British people are forgetting that when you talk first about what is happening in Palestine, you're talking about what is going on with immigration. The United Kingdom is not different at this point in time from the United States of America. So while they are protesting against Donald Trump, they should also try to protest against Keir Starmer, because the immigration policies of the United Kingdom at the moment is equally against certain people, despite some of the things that have been found out not to be true. So let's understand that they are parallel on that side. If you also must understand, by virtue of retrospection, both countries have very strong international policies that they have operated upon. The Gulf War crisis, the rise of weapons of mass destruction that led the United Kingdom with the United States of America into Iraq years ago, this particular thing was also committed by both countries. So let's understand that beyond the protestations of people are deep-seated policy alignment between the United Kingdom and the United States of America. So it is important for the people to also realize that when you're talking about the Free Palestine issues, what is the position of those that have permanent seats in the United Nations? And you also must consider here that as France has recognized Palestine, for many countries that are protesting in the United Kingdom, what is holding the UK government back? If truly they're in support of Palestine, to recognize Palestine, for them to actually initiate many of these things, to be able to actually allow such things happen. So let's understand, protestations on the street is one, understanding the policies that are in ink is another, and we stand to bridge the gap of ensuring that there's enough elucidation so that these countries can act right. Basically, that's my position right now.
All right, so Mr. Von Rugen, what parallels can be drawn between the protest against President Trump and other recent instances of mass mobilization or social unrest such as we have in Nepal and other regions?
It's no secret Trump is leading the world in deportations. One of his election campaigns was to combat illegal migration into America. That's catching a lot of traction in Europe and the UK, which have opened their doors to immigration, mass immigration, under the auspices of humanitarian support. And I think they did it a little quickly, and their citizens are now upset with the aftermath of what's happening. So they're kind of retracing their steps now and saying, we've got to control this, and we have to deport the illegal migrants that aren't not legally here, and we have to have a better vetting process. So right now, in England, they're embracing Trump. He's getting a royal welcome like no other leader has ever received by the royal family. They're sheltering him from the demonstrations, which I'm told are around 5,000 to 10,000 people strong. The banquet is being held at Windsor Castle, which is outside of London and a lot more difficult to get to as far as the protesters are concerned. Now, in lieu of also what happened last week in London, let us not forget there was an anti-immigration rally led by Tommy Robinson, which was over 150,000 strong. Okay, the sentiment in England is enough is enough. Now, there's other reasons for Trump being in England. The protests are a combination of varying groups that oppose Trump. One on humanitarian, one is pro-Palestine, one is pro-abortion, and I'm sure racism is a small part of it, but let's not confuse racism with anti-immigration. It just happens to be that a lot of minorities are the asylum seekers trying to get into England, so it's easy to call it racism, where I think that's an improper classification.
All right, Mr. Kunnu, considering the historical context of US-UK relations, and even knowing that he was going to face some protests, what significance does Trump's second visit hold for both countries?
I think it's to refresh the relationship between the United Kingdom and, of course, the United States of America. For the purposes of history, that is commonplace to many persons. You're talking about the United States of America that came out of the United Kingdom over 200 years ago. That is a kind of relationship that you don't want to end anytime soon. So if you even look at the 5 countries that basically have, 5 to 6 countries that basically have English as their first language, you talk about the UK and the United States as parents of every other country, even if the US as a country has gone miles ahead in terms of many innovation and things that it has done. So time again, this visit will cement, as it were, the position of the US and the United Kingdom as top-notch allies within the English-speaking countries. And it also talking about policy going forward, especially when they have to sit at the United Nations General Assembly, and there has to be the issue of speaking with one voice against perceived and real enemies, and of course in consolidation of policy alignment, and to ensure that international connections are better smoothed out. So these are actually the things that have happened. And don't forget also, since Donald Trump assumed office January, we have not had such visits to him, bearing in mind that King Charles III is ill, one way or the other. So this is both a state visit to ensure that such relationships are smoothened between countries, and to also show the kind of support needed. Apart from the remembrance of the Queen Mother, it is also important to say that, yes, we are with you in this period of challenge. And do not also forget, so these are the issues I need to point out. Yes, of course.
All right. To wrap things up, Mr. Von Rugen, is this protest likely to influence the UK government's diplomatic relations with the US in any way?
Whatsoever. I think I would refer to the anti-immigration protest of last week, which was in alignment with U.S. policy. This demonstration is much smaller. I think it shows England's right to be heard, which is good. It's a democratic country, and as far as affecting Trump, U.S. and English relationships, no. I think the true context of this trip is to discuss matters like the Ukraine and Russia, the UK's policy on joining the EU in protecting Ukraine. I think it's to also garner support on the Israeli-Gaza situation. And then also with trade. England, it's important to note, has the lowest tariff rates of any other country with the US. That was a deal that was cut with Trump. And England wants to invest into AI, also into America, which will be shared by the US. I think it's solidifying a relationship, and it's a global statement, as my friend also already indicated. It's a global statement of solidarity.
Alexander Von Rugen and Adeniyi Kunnu, thank you so much for speaking with us.